Good day, loves. Welcome back. We are live on Instagram, live on YouTube, and now we are getting live on Facebook.
It's trying.
It's on the way. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am really looking forward to this episode because thank you, Pete. Because it's a topic that is important. And okay, we're live on Facebook now. That's great. Okay. It says that we've been live for, it said 4 minutes, and I'm saying a few seconds. We're going to rock with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, loves, welcome back to the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. I am your coach, Coach Tinsy, and I'm joined with
Coach Soul.
Yes, we are co-founders of Ufulu Child. Apparently there's a fire out there. But we are co-founders of Ufulu Child. And on this podcast, every day of the work week, we dive into one of the 5 elements of our holistic freedom system, which is the Freedom 5. That's our healing system. It's 5 things that we do every day to keep us consistent with our paths of pursuing holistic health, self-discovery, truth, all things aligned with freedom in accordance with how we see what freedom is, right? And yeah, so today's topic is
It's morality matters.
Yes.
Pardon my voice, but it's morality matters. So we're talking about giving freely in alignment with natural law. And we're going to define natural law for you. We're going to discuss, what we've seen in our own lives, and then talk about how all of that relates to giving freely. And there is a direct tie, to our current relationship with money in the concept of giving freely. But it doesn't necessarily always mean, giving for no dollar exchange, but it does mean giving freely. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today, because Shine Day, which every Friday on this podcast is Shine Day, is short for sharing honest, insightful, nourishing expressions. And sharing is the same thing as giving. Sharing freely is what we do on this podcast. Giving freely is what we should do in real life. So it's going to be a great little discussion. Yeah.
Yes. And as you know, this podcast is early in the morning. So it is it's a blessing to be here with y'all, though. Really looking to see and explore what unfolds with this conversation. So when it comes to sharing honest, insightful, and nourishing expressions, that's something to really tend to our relationship with others, with our friends, with our family members, with our community, and what we share with the world. So this is something that, at its root, I feel like the most important thing to glean from it is that it's all about giving with no strings attached, right? So if you're going to give, then let there be no ulterior motive. Let there be no coercion. no forcing the issue, or no expecting someone to give back to you with extra or whatever. Let it just be a gift if it's going to be a gift, okay? or an exchange if it's going to be an exchange. But no strings attached. What does that mean? What does that look like? And why is it important? So, um, you may all. I mean, I feel like everybody knows somebody in their lives that is is very conditional with their love to the point that unless you to the point of being it's very toxic, right? So everyone knows at least one person that when it comes to expressing love or expressing appreciation, it's they may be very transactional to the point of being manipulative
Hmm.
or um, or just expecting something in excess of what, like always, like with a hand behind their back, like gossiping or just very judgmental or just very like always has an ulterior motive to what they're doing that is not in the alignment with the best, the highest, the good. um, it may be in alignment with the opposite. So um, if we're to be the example, which I know if you're watching this podcast, you are the person that is the freedom seeker. You want to be the example for your friends, for your family. You want to even set up a legacy for yourself. You want to be free in this life and not be bound by the shackles of society and someone else's expectations or even your own misaligned expectations. So that's why I feel like it's important that we talk about this.
Yeah.
Is there like a story or an instance in that you could share, like, or you know?
Yeah. But first, what is natural law? Like we said in the title of this episode, the title itself is Giving Freely in Alignment with Natural Law. And natural law has to do with morality. Has to do with morality. Um, it is a set of unchanging, non-man made, universal consequences, good and bad, for the behavior of a society or a group of people and also an individual. Again, it's a set of consequences that are non-man made, that are natural, that are unchanging, that correspond or go, come after, you could say, behavior, societal behavior, group behavior, and individual behavior. And on one hand, that makes morality an objective conversation, right, or an objective phenomenon. Um, it creates the karmic cycles. It's or causes the karmic cycles, not creates them. It causes the karmic cycles. Natural law is the reason why it doesn't bode well to behave in ways that cause harm, loss, or death to other people and or to other sentient beings, as the teacher of natural law, the greatest teacher of natural law named Mark Passio would put it, other sentient beings. So animals and plant life and whatnot is also included. But basically, these laws, they they're tied to our intentions. They're tied to our and by intention, I mean the intention of the actions that we take, not our intentions of like what we think only, but they're tied to why we do what we do, when we do what we do, and how we do what we do, and mostly when and how, and then a little bit why. Which is, conceptual, philosophical, uh, sort of in the clouds. But if you reflect on your life, then you may be able to make sense of natural law. And again, it's not man-made. This isn't something that Coach Soul is making up. This isn't something that Coach Tensi or Mark Passio is making up. It's something recognized in all cultures, in all eras, and all religions, even, and spiritual systems and mythic systems across all time eras, all around the world. Because the same, what we call natural law is also recognized as karmic law. It's also recognized as God's law. It's also recognized as consequentialism. Yeah, it's
universal law.
Universal law. It's the laws that govern our behavior and the karma that we experience due to our behavior or caused by our behavior. And in reflection of my own life, one of the most common violation of natural law that human beings engage in is deception, right? Lying to yourself, lying to others. That is a behavior that is governed by natural law and is immoral. So it bears negative consequences as opposed to positive consequences. And I used to be a big liar. I used to lie a lot to fit in and to look cool and to feel good about myself. It didn't really feel good, but I thought it would end up feeling good later, because I would see other people lie, know that they were lying, and then they would also pretend like it felt good to, when they got away with the lie or whatever. And so I thought it would feel good, and so I would lie to feel good about myself, about my situations, about whatever. Really, I was just confused and dealing with abandonment issues and whatnot. But I used to be a huge liar, right? And when I grew out of that, when I finally reconciled with things and the abandonments that I experienced and stopped this habit, there was a huge decrease in negative consequences that would come uh, my way. And I just knew it was because I had stopped lying for no reason. And then that set me even more so on a truth path. And I got very belligerent with the truth, you could say. Um, nature boy, what it do?
Good day, love.
I can't even believe you in here this early. Good morning, brother. But anyway, I used to be a huge liar, and once she know, once I got over that, and once I started to tell the truth, and then, like I said, I got belligerent with the truth. I got so into truth that I would push people away who were still addicted to the lies that were told. What up, fam? That were told. Uh, uh, the karmic consequences shifted from negative karmic consequences to positive karmic consequences, and eventually, like, I met Tensi, for instance, and within a year of meeting Tensi, or a year and a couple months, we were already married, and starting this uh, business together. It just Things just rolled into positivity due to me committing myself to the truth. The truth is, they say there's three things that can never stay hidden. That's the sun, the moon, and the truth, right? Because the sun gonna rise, The moon gonna take the moon gonna take its place, and the truth is going to remain true eternally. There's nothing new under the sun because the truth always is, right? And what is what happened in the past, like events and things, and the law of the universe. Those two things are immutable, unchanging, non-man-made. Or I guess the past is influenced by man, but it's not man-made. The man did not make the past, and it's just what's true. It's just what is. And committing yourself to truth has a positive impact on your life, which is another reason why we see people who are using lies to get ahead in life are usually always miserable.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It always comes back in one way or another. Well, and it's for me most of the time. Whenever we talk about like self-deception
Soraya.
and stuff like that, good day, love. It tends to be very subtle for me. Like it's stuff that it's part of the culture. It's like they say keeping up with the Joneses, or how we what we show on social media, or whenever someone asks us how are we doing today, how we respond, stuff like that is it's like the little parts to where we keep a lot of secrets, and we don't think of the secrets as being deceptive
Yeah.
Sometimes, and they are.
Yep.
I mean, if you're not doing all right, you're just not doing all right. But yeah, so there's one thing that I was journaling about this, and I wanted to share a question just to reflect. And if anyone watching journals, then maybe this might be a cool prompt to reflect on for yourself as well. But one of the things that I was reflecting on is I take a moment to journal and to really connect with spirit, with my spirit, with all that is, with the source. And so this particular prompt was like asking for a message from all that is. You can call it God, you can call it source, whatever word makes sense and resonates with you, or creator, whatever. What is a message from all that is to further bring alignment with natural law or universal law, and the actualization of my highest vision of holistic freedom? So what's a message from source to further bring alignment with natural law and actualize my highest vision of holistic
I'm
freedom?
so glad that you brought that up too, because this type of journaling is very, very powerful. I call it, like, what do I call it? It's answer seeking meditation, right? Sometimes you have meditative practices that are answer seeking, meaning you're not just connecting deeply with your inner silence, which is a hugely profound and powerful practice in and of itself. But in answer seeking, you connect with something higher than yourself, within yourself, higher than your ego, within yourself, to provide some guidance and to provide some opportunities for further alignment with truth, right? With the truth that pertains to you and your story, or somebody else and somebody else's story, so far as you can reach them. And it's a very, very powerful practice. I definitely encourage anyone watching this podcast to engage in either journaling, or even if it's just like some silent sitting where you seek some answers for yourself from within, and not seek only external sources for certain answers, whether that is how to improve a habit in your life, or how to get rid of certain mental habits that you have that are self-sabotaging. Whatever it is that you'd be needing an answer to, that you engage in practices like journaling, contemplation, reflection, right? Take a walk and just reflect in the sunlight or moonlight on things that you want answers to, and ask your inner voice what the answer is, and then be quiet and humble and listen. Um, and it's a beautiful practice. I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah. And some of the things that came up for me in this sort of reflection is basically to have courage and to call out wrong when you see it, when you can recognize it. And we're going to get into what some of the wrongs are, because there's a few wrongs in universal law that if we violate them, we're just in for suffering. And that's collectively and that's individually.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else is a right. Okay. So, but yeah, just basically to have courage to know your infinite worth, and that can't be um, taken away or um, downplayed, even though everything in this world may have been set up to convince you that it is anything less than infinite. Um, and then, of course, just to let go of the um, the tendency to be anxious or on edge, and just embrace the actions in life that, big or small, lead you in the direction of what feels like that same energy of freedom for you. Um, yeah. So let's talk about some of the wrongs in natural law. Like, what are
They're very simple.
the
Absolutely.
things that violate natural law and set us up for?
So you can find yourself in violation of natural law, and I like to say in 4 basic ways. All of them have to do with the concept of theft in some way, shape, or form. But basically, when you engage in behaviors that obstruct or outright take away someone else's freedom,
Free will.
or informed decision making processes. So, first is causing bodily harm. You cause bodily harm, you take someone's freedom to enjoy the natural sensations of their own body, of their own being. You cause bodily harm, you know, um, outside of acts of defense, of genuine self defense, or defense of the innocent. There's a natural law consequence that's going to come with you causing harm, right? Second is killing or murder, more so murder, right? Taking the stripping. This is the ultimate form of stripping someone's freedom. You take a life that's not rightfully yours to take, again, outside of extreme needs for defense of yourself or the innocent. Um, then we have
Sexual violence.
thank you, sexual violence. Taking someone's freedom to associate sexually with whom they consent and please, right? Who they want to, and who they want to consent to consensually. And then there's lastly lying, right? Being deceptive in the way that you interact with people. Oh, that's what it was. The third one that I was going to say was so causing bodily harm. The sexual assault or sexual crimes fall under bodily harm. The third one is theft. Taking stuff that doesn't belong to you. Ownership is a real thing in nature, as abundance is what we live in. Therefore, when you go and you take somebody's stuff that you have no right to take, you're committing a violation against natural law. And then the fourth one is deception, right? Taking someone's freedom for informed choice when you have the power to either inform them or at least not obfuscate what they should know in relation to your behavior with that person.
Obfuscate just means like mixing meanings.
Yep, which we talked about already in its previous episode.
Where? So, yeah. So basically, there's a few things. So theft, trespassing, uh, coercion, where you're, being deceptive, taking someone's free will decision making away from them and convincing them to do something in a manipulative way, where it's kind of like you're holding them to the fire, as a manner of speaking, in order to get your way. Um, Lying willfully, sexual violence, taking someone's life, assault. All of these things, especially the acts of violence, are all, if they're in a self defense way. I mean, the sexual violence won't be ever,
Right, ever.
ever. But if it was self defense and you had to
Or
fight
defense
back,
of the innocent.
or otherwise, then that is not a violation of natural law. And I feel like that's where sometimes we forget that we can defend what's right. We can tell the truth, and that's actually what Spirit also asks of us. It's like the do no harm, but also take no stuff. You feel me? So it if we one of the things that I struggled with oftentimes is the uh, the self defense piece when it comes to um, physical altercations with people. And when people say it's like it doesn't matter who started it, the truth is that it does. And
My man from Thurman.
oh,
He said
blessings.
bless. He said God bless.
Bless. The truth is that it does matter who started it, and it's important. We do ourselves and others a disservice when we let evil just be free in the world without calling it out, without standing up and saying that this is not okay, this is
Right.
wrong.
Or even if it's not all the way to the point of evil, letting injustices
Yeah.
happen. And like Coach Tensi just said, we all remember being in school, and there's some sort of altercation, whether it's loud shouting that's disrupting a class, or maybe even a fist fight in the hallway. And uh, there's this notion that, oh, it doesn't matter who started it. It doesn't matter who started it. You are both in equal amount of trouble, and it doesn't matter who started it, right? But this is false. It matters greatly who started it, as one person is acting in accordance with natural law, the positive side of natural law, in defending their self from bodily harm, right? Or from being lied about or lied to or something like that. And they're just defending their freedom, their right. Whereas the other person, the aggressor, the one that, let's say, escalated to physical violence, or emotional violence, whatever it is, and they did not have the right excuse me, have the right to do so, who started it, they are in the wrong, and so they should be the one to, um, let's say, receive the brunt of whatever the disciplinary policy is of the school or whatever. Not just both of them equally, right? Yeah, maybe both of them have a talking to for disrupting class, but when it comes to, like, what's the disciplinary action for the fight that they had, that who started it is very, very, very important. Right. He said, I need all the teachers to come watch you guys. In the comments. It's very important information who started it. And it's because of natural law that it's very important who started it. Glad you brought that back up too.
Yeah. And one thing is that the truth of the matter is that although we have all of these laws and things and yada yada bing bangs, it is true. It's important to remember that no one can grant a right, and no one can, like, say all of a sudden something's right for this group of people, but it's not right for that group of people, or it's wrong for this group of people and not wrong for this other group of people. It with natural law, it's just right across the board or it's just wrong across the board. That's just what it is. So when
Right.
we're in violation of someone else's free will choice, and it is something to where we are not being the aggressor, but at the same time, we are allowing for truth to be known, allowing for us to, stand up for what matters. That's important. So when we love, we love from a space of that understanding that it's not okay to be controlling over someone else, just because it feels good to have that hand over life. We have to in our relationships be able to come to a space of love, of true love, and that doesn't mean romantic love. That doesn't mean
No, yeah.
That just means like a true care. Like you're in harmony, you're in alignment, you're in balance with what you know to be right, what you know to be true, and you're coming from a space with no strings attached. No strings attached. If I'm gonna give to you, I'm gonna give to you. Okay. And it's a remembrance also that we are all truly. It's like if this body has millions of cells that make it up, each of us is a cell of God. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all part of the divine. We're all connected to the same one, which is the same spirit creator of all things. And if we all remembered that, and some people are severely imbalanced in their brain, so they literally cannot even access that part anymore, that knowing anymore, unless it's. It'll take a long, long, long time, maybe, but for the most majority of us, we can, and we can tap into that remembrance of our connectedness to source, to the divine, to what really matters, and our connectedness to each other.
Yeah. And appreciate the message this morning, fam. Hey, appreciate you sticking around, man. Appreciate all of y'all. Go follow on Instagram. Follow SOUF Southside _ and learn about how you can get involved with what he calls collective sustainability. Okay, collective sustainability when it comes to the practices of healthy living in your community, as well as addressing some of the food desert issues that we face as a community. Because brother is on 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to solution-based action, not just solution-based talk, but solution-based action.
That's beautiful.
Go follow Southside _ nature, SOUF Southside _ nature, and go learn you something. Permaculture, cooking, go learn you something, okay? And join his app when you get the chance. Shout out Lawrence, aka Nature Boy. Yeah, man, I think this is a good. I was gonna say something, but it left my head now. We got another comment from somebody I really, really rock with, really admire. Also, shout out to my youngin watching on YouTube, who was a student of mine at the Boys and Girls Club. But we can go ahead and close out this episode. It is Friday, so next time we will see you guys is Monday morning, same time, same place. Thank you for tuning in to the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. I'm Coach Soul.
I'm Coach Tensi.
And like, comment, subscribe, share this out, notify yourself next time we are going live so that you don't miss an episode or an opportunity to interact with us live right here on our platform. Also, put in the comments your understanding of natural law or any type of maybe short stories that you experienced in your own life when it comes to karma, and how maybe you changed the behavior and then you experienced different karma because of it. As you know, we can teach these things from a conceptual level, and we can, share stories and anecdotes of our own. But when the community is also sharing their understanding of things and their stories, obviously the message is given more credit and credence. So definitely let us know in the comments what your experience with natural law is like, or what your experience with aligning yourself with truth is like. And we can't wait to interact with y'all in those comments. We'll see you next time.
Take good care, loves.
Peace.